Hey guys, had to hit you up here today on something. So was driving down the street, as happens, and my brain was working hard here. And so what I was thinking about was I got some comments on a video I did earlier about budgeting, and someone said, well, why do I need a budget? What do I do with a budget? And so I was driving down the street, and look at this, I'm passing a big old shopping center here, and what made me think of it was, when Mrs. Biz and the Biz girls go out for a shopping excursion, a budget is absolutely necessary. So I want to tell you today, give you a couple of tips on how to make a budget work for you to create some game-changing results. I've seen it time and time again with clients I've worked with. Absolutely powerful. Actually, before I get into that, I want to mention something real quick here. So look at this, like a little pink in my tie here. So I am honored to announce that I just recently jumped in with the Real Men Wear Pink campaign. They've chosen me here to be part of that campaign, and just wanted to promote that real quick. Real Men Wear Pink to benefit breast cancer. So okay, let's get into the tips here. How can you create a budget to create game-changing results? So number one, you create this budget, you've gone through all the heavy lifting, you've done all the work. Make sure you share that with your employees. You don't have to share every detail, but you need to let them know what you're aiming for. What are the aspirational goals? So let's say, for example, the most you've done is $400,000 in revenue, and your aspirational goal for this year is $450,000. You want your employees to know that. You want to get buy-in. You want it to be motivating for them. What that does is, and also what you want to do is you want to show them how it's going to impact them. So if we achieve this budget, how will it impact me? That's what an employee is going to want to know. So if you have an incentive plan, hopefully you do, you can tell them, hey, if we achieve these results and we achieve this budget, here's what it's going to mean for our employee incentives. So they're going to know that's going to impact their pocketbook in a positive way. It also helps them think like owners. So now you're all rowing in the right direction, singing from the same songbook, as they say. I had this happen with a client. It was a medical practice. They were specialists, and they get referrals from primary care physicians, as you can imagine. And what I found was, I witnessed it in the office. So we had a person that had already clocked out, and she jumped back on the phone and was making calls to referrals. And I stopped by and I said, hey, what are you doing? And she said, well, we have these referrals sitting here. And as you can imagine, in the medical practice world, especially for specialists, referrals are like gold, right? Because if you get if you're a doctor, you go to see your primary care physician because your knee is bothering you, and they say, hey, you need to go see a specialist, and they refer you. Think about, are you going to not go to that? Of course you're going to go to it, right? So they're like gold. So you got to make sure you're doing that. Well, we weren't following up with them enough. So she had clocked out already. She clocked back in so she could make those calls to those referrals. And I asked her, I said, well, why did you do that? And she said, because I know those are good for our revenue, our bottom line, and we're a little bit behind. Massively powerful. This is a woman who works the front desk at a medical practice. She got it. She had buy-in. She was motivated because we had a budget. She knew where we were at, and she knew what she could do to help. She was thinking like an owner. The next thing you want to do is you want to review it monthly. So the worst thing you can do, the absolute worst thing you can do, is go through the work of creating a budget and then not actually implement it, or actually review it every month. That is the real power, is reviewing it every single month. And what that does is it allows you to see trends. You identify whether you're ahead or behind, why, and adjustments you need to make. You are able to identify trends and problems very quickly, and you can make adjustments to that. So obviously super powerful. If you're not doing that, creating a budget is useless, right? You got to make sure you're utilizing that hard work you put in to create that budget. As I like to say, what you measure always improves, always. So what you're doing is you're holding yourself as well as some of your employees accountable every single month. For example, let's say you had a revenue budget of a sales budget, and you had $100,000 for that particular month. Well, at the beginning of the month, you want to share that with your sales folks, right? You want to tell them, hey, our goal this month is $100,000. As you get partway through the month, 1 week in, 2 weeks in, you may share with them where you're at. Hey, we're looking to hit $100,000 this month, and we're 2 weeks in, so we're halfway through the month, and we're only at $35,000. So we should be at 50 to be on pace, and we're behind, guys. We really need to turn it up. If you don't have a budget and you're not monitoring those types of things, what's going to happen? You're going to get to the end of the month, you're going to hit 70,000 in sales, and you're going to say, oh crap, we didn't reach our goal, right? Well, it's too late then. You can't do anything about it. Measuring it and monitoring it is absolutely critical. So hopefully there's some good tips for you. Again, Real Men Wear Pink. Don't forget it. It's important. We'll talk again soon, guys. Thanks.